thrive off being self-employed. A lot of people just think it's so scary. I'd have still been working for someone else. I'd have lost my passion for hairdressing.
Meet Keelan, the owner of vegan hair salon Lavo Beauty and the creator of Dianne Whatcock. She's hilarious, she's a council estate queen, and she has taken social media by a storm.
Diane's a character that I do that got me into social media.
But behind the laughs and the banter, there is a sharp and creative, business-minded entrepreneur who has built a business, a reputation, and a brand rooted in being authentic. In this episode, Keelan talks about his journey in the industry and how making the decision to become self-employed was something that he avoided for a long time.
Partner, actually, he was just like, what are you doing? He was like, you could have earned 50 grand. You don't need to work for someone forever.
He talks about how he shows up online and how he makes his business decisions to stand out from the crowd.
Because I've never been the type of person who wants to just get a salon on an high street and the normal, like everything I do has to be something a bit crazy or a bit random or different.
We talk deep about Keelan, the creation of Dianne, and how the fear of being who you actually are online might be the thing that's holding you back.
If you sat at home, you're thinking, oh, I ain't got it in me to put myself out there. What have you got to lose?
Yeah. This interview went from fun to serious.
Got my first boyfriend, that's when I decided I wanted to tell her. Wrote it in a letter for my mum, put it under a pillow and went to my friend's house.
To inspiring, really quick.
Even if you're in a position where you can't actually afford to go on £1,000 course, you don't have to do any of that. You can find so much stuff out online.
And I asked all the right questions. What's something about running a beauty business that nobody told you but you wish you had known?
I wish that people would have said,
Keelan.
Hello, darling.
Welcome to the pod.
I'm super excited. This is my first podcast, so go gentle with me, darling.
Oh, baby, I'll go gentle. I've got some lube down there for us. I really am interested in you, Keelan. Obviously, we know Dianne, and we're going to talk about Dianne today, but I really want to know more about Keelan. You've been in this industry for a long time. When did you join the industry?
So I joined probably out of desperation at about 14. I thought I need to get a job because I just needed some like spare money for weekends going out with my friends, etc. So I started working in a barber's just as like a Saturday boy. And then I kind of got a vibe for like liking it in Salon and, you know, like the banter you get in Salon and stuff like that. And then we're like coming up to finishing school. I were always like class clown at school, so...
Never. I don't believe you.
So yeah, I was like coming up to the end of that. I like didn't have any prospects really because my grades from school were just shocking. And my mum was just like, why don't you go into hairdressing? It's always something you can fall back on. You can do it anywhere around the world. I always like, we're into travel and stuff like that. So she like just said, just do that and then you can pick it up and leave it and do what you want. And you're not like dead set into like a job. You can just do it. She was like kind of trying to get me into it, I think, knowing that I'd enjoy it, but like without the pressure kind of thing. So I thought, I might as well, what else have I got to lose? And back then you didn't really need any GCSEs to do it. I just had to do like all my GCSEs at college when I was doing my hairdressing. So I just got slipped into it like that. And I think part of it was like a bit, probably, I wouldn't say like internalised homophobia, but like I didn't want to be an hairdresser because at that point I'd not come out yet.
This was going to be my next question.
Yeah, so I were a bit like standoffish, like, hairdresser, I very dare you, darling. As
what
if
makes
I'd
you think
ever
I'd
been.
do that?
Literally like that with the vibe. And my mum had to like ease me in. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get a go then. I got a job at a salon in Sheffield, and yeah, just like that's where it all started. And I just like, I was just like a natural, to be honest. Like I've worked with people in the past that have like really had this like huge passion for hairdressing, and my passion probably came later on. I weren't as like that. I kind of got passionate because I was good at it, and I'm like, oh, I'm good at this, and it's like I kind of fell in love with hairdressing once I like qualified and I was doing my clients and stuff like that.
So through college, it weren't like you was like, oh my God, I love this so much. It was more like, I need to do something.
Yeah, and I felt like it was just like going from school to college, you just kind of same shit. I mean, I were in a job 4 days a week, but like obviously still in that college environment every Monday. I was like, still like, I don't know, and I was still a bit like class clown while I were as an assistant, because obviously it's not that deep, is it? And I kind of, my personality, I just got on with everyone in Salon. All stylists love me, and they'd be like, oh, come and sit in staff room while I'm on my lunch and do pots, and I'd be in there for half an hour just chatting and just like making everyone laugh, and I hardly ever had to do any cleaning or out like that, because I was just like likeable, I suppose. So like I kind of got away with having to do all shit parts of being like an assistant. And then because I were good at what I did. Like, I got put on with like a one-to-one assistant with a stylist, basically. We're really busy. So after like probably about 6 months of being like a regular assistant, I was like a one-to-one assistant just working with him. And then, just finished working there. And then I had a little gap where I thought, I'm sick of working for like someone out. Like, so I went and worked, I opened like a 2-chair salon in front of a beauty salon when I was probably like 19 or something. And I just thought, I'll just go and do it with like a friend of mine's beauty salon. And that's where I kind of thought, I'm going to try and be self-employed for the first time. And it went well, but we're in an area that we're a bit like, obviously when you're in like certain areas, you can't charge much, and it's like you're kind of stuck in that area then. So then I decided to go back to the original salon that I worked at, and then got fed up quite quickly after that, and started applying for different jobs elsewhere. And I went for like job interview, got the job, but I kind of saw a few things, and like, no hate, but like it was one of them kind of salons that's like, I heard an owner saying something like, you have to weigh your toner out, and if it's more than 15 mils, the client has to pay twice for toner, and just little things like that I heard, and that kind of put me off wanting to work there. And then I went to and we just clicked straight away, and she was like, I'll want you, I'll pay whatever, I'll pay more than them, and I just want you to come and work here. So I ended up just going with that option. And that were a really good, like, pivotal moment in my career, to be honest, because it was going to work for like a company that were all about like knowing your worth and charging your worth, and then that's where I started to really build a clientele up, clients that like appreciate me and were paying for me properly. Because when I worked at the other salons, because I were employed, I kind of I'd be like, just give us 40 quid. You know, like, because it weren't my salon and I weren't self-employed, like I didn't care. So I'd just be like, whatever, just have that colour correction, you've been here all day for like 60 quid or whatever. And I never would have built a proper clientele up and a proper business if I'd have carried off like that, because I'd have just had people who wanted discounts and...
You've been working for next to nothing, wouldn't you? Because the thing is, especially in the hair industry, people already undercharge because so many other people undercharge. Yeah. If they went and actually charged their worth, they wouldn't be able to compete in such a competitive industry.
Exactly. And I'm still like that now. Like, although I know my worth, like I still feel bad sometimes for charging. And I currently now I'm actually going through a process. I need to redo all my price list and work everything out again, because things have changed so much in industry. Like from products and obviously everything going up, your rent, your electricity, everything else going up, but also the like hairstyles that people are wanting now aren't the same things that they were wanting 10, 15 years ago.
It's not just a root retouch, is it, or whatever. Exactly. Now it's like balayage and
even like a half-head highlights on my price list. Half-head highlights is like 2.5 hours, which it would have been 10 years ago. Now it could be 4 hours if depending on somebody's hair and how they wanting it to look. And not many people want just a box standard highlight anymore. Because
you've got your own salon now, haven't you? You've got your own, and it's a vegan, like a vegan-friendly hair salon. Let's talk about what made you transition to your own place.
Probably 2 years employed, and looking back, like the wage that I were on, it was just like compared to what I were earning in salon. Like when I'd look over like a year, it was just crazy. But I didn't have it in me to like go self-employed. Like I were always like really grateful for earning what I were earning, because I would just like come from nothing, council estate, like. The money I were earning were good in my eyes, and I thought, that's amazing. So I like kind of were employed for a few years, and then it was my partner actually. He was just like, "Kay, what are you doing?" Like, I think 1 year I'd earned him like 100 grand this salon, and I told him, and he was like, "What are you doing? You could have earned 50 grand this year."
Because you'd have probably been paid 20.
I literally what it were. I were on about 20 grand, and he was like, "You could have earned 50 grand. You could be buying your own Louis Vuitton bags and your own shit. Like, you don't need to work for someone forever."
Scary though, isn't it?
It was scary, and like I went self-employed there, and it didn't go down the best because they obviously liked the situation we were in before, which is fair enough. Now as a business owner, I get it. If I had a staff member who were earning me all this money and then they kind of wanted, I mean, I'd probably be a bit different because I've been in this industry, and I'd probably want them to do their own thing. And that's probably why I ain't got any staff, because I'd be too...
You're like, just take that money, babe, honestly.
Yeah,
don't have to worry about paying me.
I feel like, treat your kids. But yeah, so I kind of went... That were the whole like realisation I needed to go self-employed. Went self-employed, did really well off back of it, even in that salon where I weren't meant to feel as thingy about it. And then I kind of, because of how it all were and they weren't very happy with me and stuff, I kind of thought I'm going to have to do something for myself. So then that's where the dream of Lavo were born, I suppose. So me and my partner were just like, a lot of driving force behind it were him again.
Yeah,
so like with the self-employed
it.
thing, he would give me the battery pack in my back, I suppose, like to say, you can do this, you can do all, like, and then we got like, I'm a big believer in fate, me, and like universe and everything else. And I know you speak a lot about all that kind of stuff, but I was just in this cafe one day and this guy who, like a friend or someone that I know, said, "Oh, you're an hairdresser, aren't you? Don't you fancy your own salon?" He was like, "I've got these containers I'm selling." So I was like, "Oh, yeah." And my partner were with me, so we kind of got chatting about it. And I thought that'd be such a good idea because I've never been the type of person who wants to just get a salon on a nice street.
Like the normal, yeah.
Like everything I do has to be something a bit crazy or a bit random or different. And I went to see this salon and it was like, it's the salon that I've got now, but it's basically 2 containers on top of each other and it's all like funky and got like spray painting all over it. And I just loved it and I just thought that could be such a good idea. Like then you've just got ground rent and you've got your own shop. So then that's a whole, we could do a full podcast on that because it was just like the biggest nightmare ever. The guy that I got it off ended up selling me a dream about this retail park. It was going to be on that. We're going to have palm trees and parking and it was going to be all amazing. And basically like 3 years down the line, I was still working from my back bedroom in my house because I'd left Style Bar thinking I'm going to open my own salon, but I didn't want to like mess them over because they had been good to me. So I thought I'll leave and I'll go and work from home for a bit and then I'll open my own salon like 6 months. It ended up being about 3 years. Okay. So I ended up having to relocate the containers to a completely different place because the retail space I was going to be on just never happened really. It's open now, but it's not how it were even sold to me. There's still porta toilets outside and stuff. And so anyway, we moved to, luckily I'd got a client whose husband got some land and it all fell into place. So we kind of moved it to land that we're on now. And we've been there for probably like 7-8 years now, I think. Wow. So yeah, we've just moved. That was like a huge thing as well, like actually having to pick it up because we'd renovated it all. And then we had to kind of split them, do you know, because you can't lift a double thing. So we had to split it and basically rip everything we'd spent all this money out on to then move them and re-put them back together and then rebuild it all, basically. But yeah, I think my biggest thing that I'd said to anyone who's got like a passion for what job they do, whether it be beauty, aesthetics, hair, whatever, go and get that 25 grand loan and fucking do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's worse that's going to happen? Like, for me, and I know you've got to be good at your job and there's a lot that comes into it. It's not just as easy as saying, "Oh, just do it." But like, if you're good at what you do and you're confident in yourself, do it, because working for someone else and making somebody else rich all your life, it's just, you're in that system, aren't you? You're just plodding along and you're never going to be truly happy and have that work-life balance until you do it for yourself. And like, and I mean, not everybody is that type of person either, are they? Like, some people love the security of being employed and having a manager and having that support and having all that. I just feel like if I'd have not had my partner, who would have given me that kick up arse to like make me think, you can do it, like, and I am that type of person who I thrive off being self-employed and managing myself and like, yeah, like that like work-life balance that you can get.
It's such, like you went traveling, didn't you, not too long ago, and like you go on your holidays and stuff, and being able to manage your own time and be like, do you know what, I'm taking that week out. It's so freeing, and people don't understand.
Yeah, that's it. I think a lot of people like just think it's so scary and like, how do you even do it? Like, it seems so daunting because I suppose everyone's just like conditioned to work how we work and be employed and just do that kind of thing. And I just think, God, what would have happened to me if I'd have still been working in a salon for someone else, probably earning shit money and just like
filling their pockets.
And I'd have probably lost my passion for hairdressing.
Yeah, you probably
and, you know,
would.
Just thought, oh, this is just a shit industry. Like, I see people who work for people, or like clients that I've got who've got salons, and staff will leave to go and work in a care home. And I think, like, no disrespect to anyone who works in a care home, if you're in that care
and you're
industry, you're passionate
about
it, fair enough. But to be an hairdresser, who's like in that lifestyle to then going to be a carer, it's completely different. And like, I just think they do it because it's like another easy job to get into instead of, I suppose, sticking at it and getting them clients in. And because it is hard to maintain your client base, and you've got to have something about you, haven't you? Like what they're coming back for. And I've worked with hairdressers before who aren't even good hairdressers, but the personality is amazing and the clients love them and they've never got any complaints and stuff like that. So
people are joining the industry and then sometimes they stay employed forever, earning, like you say, shipment. And some people like this, right? Some people do. Well, some people leave the industry, go and change their career when actually they didn't need to do that. They could have just gone and followed the passion.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. Like, instead of just sticking at hairdressing and like knuckling down and making it work and then making it financially work, rather than they kind of leave because they're going to go and be self-employed somewhere else that think, oh, this will be easier than standing on my feet all day. And it's not.
Nothing's easy. No job's easy, whether you're self-employed in hairdressing, aesthetics, fucking car sales, having your own restaurant. Nothing is easy, but I do think the payoff's worth it, personally. I do. So what inspired Lavo then? Because it's a vegan hair salon as well, isn't it? So was your partner vegan? Was you vegan before you met? How did the vegan come around?
So I'm vegan. I've been vegan for like, it'll be, 10 years in like next February.
What made that happen?
This is a funny story as well. So I went to New York. Long story short, I met a girl in New York who we were obsessed with each other, like best friends. And I was flying back to see her. And I'd already me and Robert had just got together. And I'd already still got this holiday booked. So I said, I'm still going. And I went for 2 weeks. And at this point, I ate chicken. I'd always like gone from being vegetarian to eating chicken. And my mum always kind of said, I was brought up like vegetarian, but mum always said like, try and eat chicken or fish. My mum's vegetarian now. She's been vegan for years as well. But anyway, I were eating chicken and dairy and everything. And I went to New York and watched this. She were out at work, my friend. And I watched this I watched this documentary on Netflix, and we didn't have it in UK at the time. I think it's called Cowspiracy.
Oh, I think I might have seen.
And I watched that, and it just like, when something gets ingrained in my brain, it's not like a case of like just put it to the back of your head like a lot of people can. I can't like. So that night we ordered insomnia cookies, which like 24 hours of cookie delivery in New York. They've actually come to England now, but. We got these cookies delivered and this milk, and I couldn't drink.
Couldn't do it.
I like drank a bit and it made me instantly feel sick. And I was thinking about white blood cells, and I was like,
oh no.
So everything from this documentary just come back, and I just couldn't eat it. And then I remember getting back, and my favourite ever thing would be like a margarita pizza, like extra cheese, and I ordered one, and I literally couldn't eat it. It were in box, and the smell of it and everything, I couldn't eat it. So it was like I'd just been brainwashed by it.
Your brain chemistry, didn't it?
So then meat were just easy because I'd always been veggie, and like kind of I one of them, I'd have like a chicken breast and be picking through it looking for a vein. If there were any kind of discoloration, it were in vein. So it were easy to go vegan. So yeah, I went vegan. And funnily enough, actually, like to say I with the vegan, it was Rob's idea again to do a vegan salon.
Really?
Because he was just like, it helps us stand out against like a saturated market, just every other salon. We're already cool, and the like look of the salon's quite cool and quirky and like eco-friendly and all that kind of stuff. And there were no other vegan salons like in England, never mind in Sheffield. So like we were like the first. So it did help us stand apart from the crowd, and we got onto like local radio and all that kind of stuff. To like, it were good marketing tactics.
You're good at marketing though, aren't you? We're going to go into that. I think you're better than what you think you are.
I think it's just like a natural thing. And so yeah, we like kind of did that, got his name out there. I were lucky enough to already have like a really bustling, full clientele of people that are like loyal, die-hard clients. So no matter where I was going to go, I was going to be busy.
Yeah.
So they come to my back bedroom and ungo my bath for the last 3 years. So they're going to come to a salon, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's like where Salon were born, and I can't believe that we're 8 years ago. Do you know that? Looking back to think how quick time goes, it's just crazy.
Did you find that you got like an influx of vegan clients? Or do you find that you have a bit of that? No,
not really, to be honest. I have like an handful of vegan clients, and I have like a few clients who come to me because it's cruelty free. but they eat meat. They just don't agree with like animal testing and stuff like that. So it's just a different bag. I think it did help gain a few clients, but it was more like getting name out there more than out. And obviously, ethically for myself, I'm vegan, so it fits well. I would have got all vegan stuff in anyway, and people would have never known about it.
Tell me about testing then with animals. I actually don't know anything about this. Like, so is that something that happens? Like they test products on animals?
Yeah. So like a lot of big brands. So like, I mean, don't hold me to this, but like L'Oreal, for instance.
So we'll say
like
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
They will have to test on animals because they sell to certain countries that have them laws and stuff in place where you have to test on animals. It's the same with like MAC makeup and like they sell to China, so their like laws are that you have to test on animals. So it's like it with cosmetics and hair and everything. And I try and go for more like Swedish brands and stuff like that. They tend to be like vegan automatically anyway, and they're all like really good for your hair and stuff, and like lower PPD and stuff like that, so you don't get as many reactions. Well, I've never had a reaction, touch on wood.
Yeah, touch wood. Is it more expensive to be a vegan hair salon than it would be to be a high street?
I'd say so, yeah, because I think a lot of salons on the high street will just like do an order with a big brand. Let's not say any names, but they'll have like a contract with them, and then they get everything cheaper because they just work with that brand, and they get all the shampoos and everything, and you get it a lot. I'm not sure if that's how your salon works. You've got a big salon.
Mine are all self-employed, so my team tend to go and do their own. Yeah, they do their own, so they rent spaces from me. Whereas I did used to have employed team, but when I started the coaching, I just realised I'm not going to be able to give my energy to both, so everybody went self-employed. But to be honest, my salon self-employed team are fucking shit. There's always messages in the group chat like, is anyone going to Hazelhurst this morning? Is anyone going to Sellers? I need some developer, or I need some of this. And I'm like, how you guys are so unorganised is beyond me. It weren't like that when I ran the salon.
I think it's hairdressers in general.
I think it is. It is always the hairdressers. Yeah, it is the hairdressers. It's very rarely the beauty ladies. Sometimes they might be like, has anyone got any glue I can borrow? But yeah, so yeah, I suppose there's also, like a surcharge you're going to have to think about when you've got vegan products, because they come at a bigger expense. Yeah,
so your products, I think high quality comes at an expense. So if you're going to run a business at a certain level and you want your clients to be happy and their hair to be healthy and look good, you have to invest in your products, don't you? So
was your partner vegan when you met?
No, he's never been vegan.
Is he vegan now?
No.
So he does eat meat and stuff. I feel like being vegan is fucking expensive anyway, because when I see vegan stuff in supermarkets, I'm like, how can that be more expensive when it's got? But then I suppose it's the sourcing, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it is expensive. I've gone down a bloody organic route now and all.
Have you?
And that's another thing in my head. I'm like, I can't.
Really?
I have odd thing that you can't get organic, but I have try and get everything organic now because I've seen other things like pesticides and.
Yeah.
And I just like, I wish that social media just didn't exist sometimes. I didn't have to see it.
So you have ADHD?
Yeah.
How does that affect you in like life and business?
I think. Like, I didn't realise that I had ADHD until I was 30. It was like when my vagus nerve grew, I realised that I'd got it, and I'd say it to people and they'd be like, you didn't realise? Like, what? It's been obvious.
Everyone's seen it for all them years.
But I don't know, like something just changed, and so yeah, what question again? Sorry.
I fucking don't know. No idea.
About ADHD.
How funny!
It was ADHD and how it affects
two people
me
with
in
ADHD
business.
talking about ADHD and they've forgotten what they're fucking talking about.
No, I think it helps me. This is thing like
I agree.
When I got diagnosed, I went down like a bit of a rabbit hole of thinking, do I need to get medicated? Do I need to like whatever? And I just think with line of work that I do and the work-life balance that I've got, it'd just be stupid to be like. And I've heard about people who just feel a bit like zombied out and a bit like numb and just on one level all the time. And I think, God, I'd rather be up and down rather than no. And yeah, I think my biggest thing with my ADHD were like getting that diagnosis. We're like, oh, right, that's why I'm like that. That's why I do things like, not that I want to make excuses for stuff, but just like even in house, just like being messy or untidy or forgetting to do stuff or leaving washing in washer for 3 days. Like, do you know little things like I'll be less harsh on myself now. Yeah. I'm like, oh, well, it's just that and that's how I am. And I'm not going to sit and punish myself for the rest of my life because I've got ADHD.
I think it's a superpower as well, though, because I don't know about you, but like, you can smash a 12, 15-hour day out and be with your last client the same energy as was with your first. Like, all right, you might crash when you get home, and the next day you might be more like not be able to speak zombie, but sometimes ADHD, like you can work more extended hours, you can give more, you're more brave and daring because you get these fucking wild ideas and you actually have the bollocks to go and do it. Yeah, you might forget about a lot of things on the way, but...
You've just touched on something there, like, my clients know that I won't say no to them. They could come and they've got a 2-hour root research appointment. I had a client the other day. She went, oh, like, her life's completely switched around. She's met somebody new. She's going on holiday. She's going on a safari. She had all dark brown hair. She went, I want all lighter hair for this safari. And I had 2 hours and I just did her a full head balayage in 2 hours and just like made it happen. And that's just what I'm like. I'll just, and I think that is part of my ADHD, like you said, just taking risks and just doing it. Like,
and being creative.
Yeah. And my partner will sometimes say to me like, why do you have to learn from why can't you just not do it in first place? Why do you have to do it and then learn from your lesson? I'm like, I'd rather just fuck around and find out.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot to be said about fucking around and finding out. Some people don't dare.
Yeah, they'd just be too cautious all your life, wouldn't you? And just be like, you never know.
Do you still find that you're passionate about hair then? You still enjoy the hair, the transformation? Like, what's your favourite?
Well, I think this is like one of the good things about having my social media side of like my work because I have got that. If I did want to not do hairdressing, I'd have that option. And I don't know if it's the fact that I've got that option where I could not do it, where I'm like, oh no, I love it and I love my clients and I just wouldn't ever want to give it up. And like, yeah, I think because there is so much money to be earned on social media, it'd be easy just to think, oh, I'll just sit at home and go live on TikTok and sell some stuff and make some money that way, or could do content every day and be pushing that kind of stuff out. But then I think, again, with ADHD, like, I like my routine, I like my clients, I like the stability of having, like, I know roughly how much money I'm going to be earning, whereas with social media, it's up and down. You never know month to month what you're going to be earning. So, yeah, I think it's nice to have that mix where it's like an option.
Busy as well.
Yeah, and I work Tuesday to Saturday in Salon, and people are like, how the hell do you just juggle everything?
Yeah, because that's a lot of days still, isn't it?
It is, yeah, like, it's still 5 days a week, but I don't know, I just like that, like, I like having a lot on my plate at once. I don't know if you're like
bored.
that. Like,
oh God, yeah. Like if I've got nothing on, I'm like,
it's like, oh, I'm going.
What's my purpose in life?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I shouldn't be here anymore. Yeah, literally. Start thinking like I'm a waste of space. What am I even here for? I'm just gonna fucking open a bottle of wine. Fuck it. So you use social media and you're quite big on social media. So you introduced. Like, I don't know, you tell me the story because some people listening to this know Dianne is. Some don't.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got so much I want to talk to you about. This is not good, me and you sitting together because I'm like fucking bing bang bang. Right, before that, I want to talk about you coming out because we spoke about when you went to college, you'd not come out yet.
Yeah.
When did you come out and how did you feel about that? How was people responding around you?
So it was crazy actually because it was quite obvious from being young, like just eccentric, just everything. But I think for my mom, I've not really had my dad in my life, and now I've got like my stepdad who's like a dad. But when I was growing up, when I was younger, it was just me and my mum and my sister. And because I'd always been brought up around women, I was really close to my nan, my auntie, my sister, my cousins. I think because I denied it so much as I got older, my mum kind of thought, no, he's just an effeminate boy who's just because he's been brought up by women.
So
she kind of truly believed it, because she was just like, he wouldn't lie to me. We're like best friends. Why would he feel like he couldn't tell me? And I suppose it was just like, I don't know, I think part of me wanted to know for definite that it weren't just a phase or like that. So I think I was like 17 and I'd like kind of got my first boyfriend. It weren't a boyfriend, but it was just like going on dates and stuff at first time, and it was like, yeah, I'm definitely gay kind of thing. So that's when I decided I wanted to tell her. But I did it like by writing a letter because I just felt like I couldn't sit down and talk.
Yeah,
I struggle with that. I struggle with that anyway. I don't know if that is another like an ADHD thing. Like,
but it's a big fucking thing as well. 17.
I'd rather, yeah. So anyway, I wrote a letter down. I wrote it in a letter for my mum, put it under a pillow and went to my friend's house and like said, oh, look under your pillow. And she kind of found out like that. And then she rang me and she was just like, it weren't the reaction that I expected. I expected her to be, and she is fully like, don't care what sexuality I am. It weren't about that. It was the fact that I'd not been able to tell her. She was like upset. Like she was like,
why couldn't you tell me?
Why have you waited all this time? Why have you like, because obviously it's your kid and she probably knew that there'd been hard times where I've not been able to talk to her about it and stuff. So she was a bit upset like that. And then it was just kind of fine. I think everyone else was just like, oh, he's finally decided to
like
no
one
everyone.
was shocked.
Nobody was shocked kind of thing. But apart from my mum, that reaction was just not what I would expect.
I think with your mum, she was probably gutted because she thought, all the pain and the stuff that you've been through without telling her, like, why couldn't you reach out to me?
Yeah.
Like, she'd failed, even though she fucking hadn't,
exactly.
far
That's
from
probably
it.
what she thought.
She was upset that you didn't feel
That I
you could
weren't
tell her.
there,
But then
yeah.
everyone's different, aren't they? Everyone in their own way. Do you think being a gay male hairdresser helped you get clients? Because I've got
Definitely.
3 in my salon, and I know, like,
They're probably
from-
busiest time.
yeah, like they're my queens, like they're the
Yeah.
hairdressers, they're the one I want to go to. So do you think in a way like women have been more drawn to come to you because of that?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, I just think gay men and women, it's like
Just
their
works,
safe
doesn't it?
space. Yeah, I think
Just
like
works.
my clients come in and they're like, fucking Barry's being a twat, or they just feel like they can fully open up. And I have clients who like open up to me and talk to stuff, and they'll say like, nobody else knows this, like, and it's serious, like big things in their life that they don't even feel like they want to talk to the mum about. Or we've all been there, haven't we? If you've got like a shit partner or something, you don't want to tell your mum because you don't want them to hate your mum, like. And I think your hairdresser's like non-biased, and you can just say what you want. And I think this, if it were like a straight man, they might be a bit like, oh, he's, do you know, like...
Yeah, like you feel a bit more reserved about it. 100%.
And then same with women, I think there's always that slight competition. Is she judging me for this or that? And like, I think that's why it just works well with like gay hairdressers. And
you really
women.
do just become a bit of like, we just offload at you.
Yeah,
We're just like, listen, these are my life problems. Also, you see way more of us than you ever want to see. Because like with my, like Ross, who does my hair, works my salon, has been there for years, he's seen my vagina that many times. And like we went to a beaver together and he's just like, can you just put it away? I'm like, but then because it repulses him, I'm like, yeah, you're showing it even more. And he's like, and then he's just like, that is disgusting. But it's so funny at the same time. So I do, it definitely
It's like a proper
does
bond.
work.
Like some of my clients, like my best friends. Like I open up to them just as much if I'm having any hard times, or like when I lost my nan, one of the worst times in my life. Like my clients were like me rocks. Like I went straight into work next day because I just knew.
You knew that they'd help.
I need them to like uplift me. Like they need me sometimes. So it just works like friendship, doesn't it? I suppose.
I think that's the beauty of this industry, and those who get it, and those who don't. Like, honestly, like, like they say beauty therapist, it really should be like hair therapist, because you literally do become therapists and vice versa.
And I feel sorry for them people that go through life just floating around salons and just never finding their own, like,
the
people who like they get, or because I'll sometimes get it and I'll do somebody's hair and I think I'll never see you again. You're not ever going to be loyal to someone because you kind of, they're always them kind of people that are looking for something just unrealistic. And I'll be fully honest with people and say, you're not going to get that without snapping your hair off, or that is an AI image, or that's got a full head of extensions in it. Like, I'll be honest, because I think there's no point in me trying to achieve something unrealistic and then you'll be unhappy. But the amount of people that still don't get it and do that, and then they'll go from salon to salon, and you're never building that bond, and you're never going to like your hair because nobody ever gets to know you enough to know what you like. Some of my clients, like, they'll say, oh, what do you think about this? And I'll be like, you'll fucking hate that. And I know them better than themselves. Like, and they'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. I would have hated it.
Ross did this to me not long ago because I sent him a picture and I was like, I want to go like not light brown, but like a brown again. And he went, you'll fucking hate it. I was like, I won't. Booked it all in. Carly was helping him to strip my hair and do whatever. The night before I went, no, I'm not going brown, I'm going to hate it. He went, I fucking told you. He booked like 4 hours out of his diary as well. And I was like, you're so right. I know I'm not going to like it. It's just black. But yeah, okay. So I just wanted to touch on that. So do you think that that's come... Have you had any disadvantages or any hard times from coming out and being in this industry? Or do you think you've chose the right industry to be in?
Chose right industry to be in.
You didn't want to be a forklift truck driver, did you? Do you know what I mean?
Or a builder.
Yeah, that would have been more difficult. Although Ross from my salon, his partner's a scaffolder.
Really?
Yeah, and he's come out and everything. I'm like, you brave motherfucker, because he's on sites all the time.
My ex, well, I've been with Rob 10 years, so the one before that, so like 11 years ago, he were a scaffolder, but he weren't out.
He went out.
And he were like from London. And some of the stories he used to tell me, I'd be like, oh yeah, I won't come out. He had a full fake name on Facebook and everything, so people couldn't find him, because your job won't be worth doing.
Well, I just think he's brave. He still does it. He just openly talks about it. I mean, he gets some shit, obviously, because that's what sites are like, isn't it? But I mean, to be honest, I think Ross has slept with more straight men than gay men. That's a thing. Like,
he's been going around trying to turn everyone.
The stories, oh God, love it. So you've not had any negative experiences in the industry? So let's talk about social media then, because you're very active on social media, both as Keelan and as Dianne as well. When did Dianne come into this? And tell us who Dianne is.
So Dianne's a character that I do that like basically got me into social media. So I started it.
How did it start? What was your first video? What the fuck
Literally,
happened?
this is story. So we're in that period between me finishing Style Bar and starting my own salon. And when I was at Style Bar, they did like they did a TV show. So after the TV show, I set up an Instagram up, and the kind of production company probably said like, oh, just make sure you've got like an Instagram that's not got like loads of old pictures and stuff, just like a fresh start kind of thing. I don't really know why, but I set this Instagram up, and I thought, oh, I'll call it What's the Tea with Kiki? What's the Tea Kiki? Which, for those who don't know, it's just like, what's the gossip, keeping up with the gossip type of thing. So like, what's the teas, what's the gossip, whatever. So set it up and started off just like posting random selfies or whatever. And then I were working from home, and I'd got this client who was like a friend in, and she'd brought this hideous like clip-on ponytail, and it was like part of a bundle. She got like a bun, a ponytail and a plait.
£5.
And it were a £5 for all thing. And I was like, you can't be wearing that. And I had longer hair, and I like scraped my hair on top of my head and put this ponytail on. And I just hung out at the bedroom window where I was working, and we're like shouting out window like all these kids' names, and I was like, Kelsey Jemima Rose, get in this house, your turkey twizzlers are going cold and I'm not wasting lecker warming them up. And I just like filmed it, put that on, that like went semi-viral.
Well, like this was like your first
That
one.
was the first.
And when you say semi-viral, because semi-viral then is probably not the same as your semi-viral
so it
now.
was
So it got
like-
a few hundred views, a couple of thousand or something.
Yeah, a few thousand. And then I was like, oh, and it gets a bit addictive. So like I did an actual video, and that the one that like went proper viral were I were on the phone to Nigel, which is Diane's other half, on and off, Babby's father. And I was like, you're fucking off to Santorini with your new bird. Right, like, I'm trying to fucking get kids to Skegga and I've got no money. Something along them lines. And that went proper viral. Like,
Where did it come from?
it just in somewhere in my brain.
Honestly, it just came
Literally,
out.
like,
You don't
because
plan it.
I'm like
You're
just a normal
counsel.
council
Yeah,
estate
of
lad, and
course.
like these are people that I've like lived around, or my cousin, like all different influences through my life. So it just comes out, and I've seen people like that. So yeah, I did that video. That went like people were sharing it, like Vicky Patterson and like Tanya Bardsley, and like loads of like celebrities got on it and started sharing it. All like Northerners who were like. So yeah, Scousemaw, that were another big account. She had like 2 million followers. She shared it, and then I was getting like 20,000 followers in a day, and it was just like absolutely mental. Like I remember just swiping, and it was going up thousands.
What
at a
did you
time.
feel like?
It was just literally
Overwhelmed?
like I was with all my friends, and we were just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, and then that's when I turned around to my partner. I was like, you're gonna have to do a character who's Diane's best friend. I need somebody else to bounce off on these videos.
What did he say? Was he like? Was he?
Well,
up
he's a
for
bit
it, or-
mad like me,
Oh,
so
okay,
he was
good.
like, oh yeah, like, and he's funny as like literally hilarious. So, and he's been around it. He's from Chesterfield, but he's like a council estate lad. So he was just like, he did Denise, who was like Diane's big sister, best friend type role, and then it just went mad. Like we were just every video were doing really well, and that, and then like COVID happened, and that were a big time for us because. It went from being like a little hobby in between work to like, oh, we've got notes to do, and we were just like doing content all the time. So then I come up with other characters. So we had like Pam. She's like, hey girlies, all like a bit prim and proper. And I kind of like brought Pam to life because I kind of saw a gap in market where I was thinking, Diane's too effy jeffy for some brands and some deals that could be out there. So I thought if I have someone who's a bit more commercialised,
They might choose
who doesn't swear and who's a bit more prim and proper. And then that's when I got like HD Brows. I did a big campaign with them for Black Friday with Pam and went and took over their head office and stuff like that. So then it started to like snowball and doing more and more stuff.
Fucking hell. So did these brands reach out to you, or was you reaching out? I think it was a bit of both.
Yeah, well, at the time, like just they were reaching out to me. I had like, I think what I did, I were really lucky with is a lot of the people that were following me were like iconic people like Nick Grimshaw and all his friends and like people in industry who saw me through social media who like I would have never connected with. So like the girl who got me like the Mac deal, she followed me on Instagram and we did it. I didn't have like a management company behind me or out like that. I just literally did the deal with him on my own. Same with Benefit, like the person who approached me for that followed me on Instagram and like and then I did a huge Christmas campaign with them. And And yeah, it's always been like, and then I had like a fashion designer who got in touch. She was one of Nick Grimshaw's friends. And I went and did like taking over at London Fashion Week. Me and Denise went down and it were like literally the most iconic day ever.
It is so iconic.
She did us custom outfits, Ashley Williams she's called. And we were just, I don't know why, we were looking on eBay and a jumper come up and they're like 800 quid, these jumpers. And we were like, this is only other week. Me and Rob were like, I've got a custom made dress from her. You've got 2 jumpers. We've got an holiday to Thailand satin wardrobe. But yeah, they were just like iconic times and they all just come from people who followed me, like in iconic people who just ended up getting me into different things. And then even up to like this year, I did a magazine cover for a new magazine that's come out. And that's all come from people who just followed me on Instagram. He owner at magazines like worked for GQ and British Vogue and all sorts of like. And then I think, I can't remember who, like other iconic people in this magazine, like on other covers. One of them were like Ray Winston, I think, like absolute like amazing people. And I was just like, that's mind blowing how I've been asked to go and be on this issue and he's on next one. It was just crazy.
Have you always had a good sense of humour? Is that something that like your family have always had growing up and like, excuse me, like with your mum and growing up with your mum and sisters, they always funny? Like, did you always have a laugh and stuff?
Yeah, we've always been like that kind of family. We've always had a laugh, like. And like I said, from being at school, I was always like class clown and teachers would be like, oh, why can't you be like your sister? And just because my sister was super academic. Yeah. We've actually found out that my sister's got like ADHD and she might have like mild autism. And it's just crazy that we both had ADHD, but how it affected her. She like went into herself and went into her studies and were like super good. And I were like all out and just crazy. Yeah. But I was always like that, yeah, like class clown, just at home even, just like all the time.
Did you ever like script anything when you went and did like these, you know, like the fashion thing or when you did for HD, or is it literally just it comes out?
Literally.
The things that you say are fucking unbelievably funny, which is why it works. But I'm just like, where does it? It's fucking like a God-given gift. It's the universe.
Crazy, yeah. It's just like, my brain, like. Even with videos that I do, I'll have like a rough idea of what the video's going to be about. So like just for an example, yesterday I were taking my nephew home and all council workers were stood under trees like gossiping. And on my way back, I walked past them again and they went, oh, are you that Dianne off Facebook? And I went, yeah, like my following just goes from being like 50-year-old blokes to like 12-year-old kids. But these 5 blokes were all like, oh yeah, they're funny, them videos, whatever. And as I was walking off, I went, oh, I might do a video tonight saying like, oh, council workers are sat gossiping under trees while my back garden's fucking got knee-high grass. And it'll just be something like that. And then I'll use that little snippet, which will be opener, and then I'll just keep rolling with it, and it just like spins off the end of my tongue. And another thing, I never edit videos like for them type of videos. They're just like one shots. I just do them in one. Like some people comment and be like, how many times did it take you to get that? And I'm like, I just did it once. Like
it's a proper skill, that.
Well, it's just I think it's almost like I can if I had my wiggy and I could put it on, a voice would come out and I'd sesame it and it'd just come out. It's like Dianne possesses me from within.
So what's your plan then with that side of your life? Because you've got your salon and your clients are your soul clients. You love your salon, you love that part of your life. Like, do you think that you're going to delve more into the Dianne? Do you like the balance?
I love the balance, but I think where I'm at now in my career, like, I don't know if I'm ready for like, because I have got like this salon that's quite big and I've never had any staff in it. It all intimidates me a bit, and we'll have to have a chat about this because like, I could do with getting people into like be self-employed or something, because it's just stupid me having such a big salon.
You just put a fucking post on.
But I'm just at a place where I don't know if I want to go more down like move house where I can have a salon at home somehow, like in a garage or a cabin up back garden, whatever, and like scale that down, but obviously keep all my clients, but then yes, I can focus on social media as well as still doing all my clients and that. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't know if I'm going to be able to be an hairdresser. I don't want to be an hairdresser. What like ends up doing it until it's like not passion anymore. Yeah. I'd rather have a backup plan where I can like, I'd say to my clients, look, I've lost passion for it. I've seen it with my partner basically, because he were an hairdresser and we did all salon, he worked in salon with me together and everything. And then after lockdown, he was like, I want the security, like a full-time job. And he'd lost his spark for hairdressing and like, I don't want to get to that and then not have a backup plan. So I'd love to have like a home salon that I'm still busy and doing that in it. And then just like, the Dianne stuff and...
Yeah. Do you enjoy the Dianne stuff
I love
as
doing
well?
all that stuff, I did one of your events, didn't I?
You did.
Like, love stuff like that. And then like this weekend I'm working with VK at Leeds Pride and doing like a huge thing on their stall for them. I love stuff like that. That's where the creative, like... I've always loved drag, and I suppose that's where the comedy from Instagram and drag kind of like merges for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I do more like a polished version of Dianne. Like, without the beard and without like a scraped up top knot.
Yeah,
and
you do,
then it's
like
more
that glam Dianne.
Yeah, it's more like a glam Dianne, and it gives me like a chance to have like a creative outlet to do like, plan my outfit and my hair and my makeup and what I'm going to do. And I just love all that. So like, it's my way of doing like drag, but...
in your own unique
way, I suppose.
So when did you start being interested in like drag and...
Oh God, I've just always loved it. Like Drag Race, I started when Drag Race won season 1 and they were probably in like season 18 or something now.
And you're just obsessed
just
with
like,
that.
just like always found it fascinating. I couldn't be a full-time drag queen though. So
why is that?
I just think it's so hard work, and what goes into it is so hard work. Like, I love having that as like a hobby that I can obviously like monetize. Doing that as a full-time job and like, it's hard. And
I can imagine.
Like working nights.
And you probably lose the passion again.
Yeah,
you can always
exactly.
lose the passion. Too much of something can make you like not really want to enjoy it anymore.
And just going back to like in salon, like I love having like a mix of clients who like some have extensions, some have colours. I have some clients who just come for a cut. I love having like a good mixed bag where every day is different. Some days I'm just doing extensions, some days I'm doing a colour correction, some days I'm doing a bit of everything. And I love that, like that keeps that fresh. And then with Dianne's stuff, I love doing like my videos and everything. And I have like teetered off like before we started, didn't you? You said like, oh, you need to bring her back and stuff. And I'm all or nothing. That's the thing with me. I need to get back into it where and I think having a bit of free time more at work, if I didn't work in salon as much, it'd give me more creative time to get my juices flowing with Dianne, you know.
Do you do long hours in the salon as well? So you'd have to drop some clients. And
I was thinking if I do, I'd probably just drop like a day, and then still be busy 4 days a week. But then while I've got such a big salon on my own, it's like...
It's so hard. And maybe when you did go... when you did go like a home-based salon or whatever, or get somebody in self-employed so they can make that money up for you as well. You know, like you could couple £100 a week or whatever. That's a couple of £100 that you could let go of them inconsistent clients, because we always have them, don't we? You know, like the ones that you're like, oh yeah, I could drop you.
To be honest, I'm quite lucky. Me, I've like filtered them out now. I'm like at a stage.
So now it's even harder
happy,
then, because now it's like, fuck me, I'm gonna drop in friends into. But then, suppose if you did find somebody that was good and you trusted, and there was, you know, they could go to them instead of you, still to your salon and supporting you.
I'd like to get somebody who's like kind of just qualified but got a bit of clients and got something about them, where I could then like morph them and then get them clients, because my clients I had an assistant years ago I taught to blow dry, and all my clients were happy to go to her for blow dries because it was just like the same, you know, if they've been taught your way kind of thing.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's moulding someone. We'll talk about that after, because I've got some little tips of things that I've seen work in the industry for people. So putting yourself out there online also opened you up to like wankers. Have you had much like pushback or homophobic comments or like shit from becoming Dianne and being more of you? Because there is people out there that are not even just gay people, but people who are not so solid in their
if they're not solid in
themselves. Like how would you advise them to step into it?
I'm just always been the type of person that just thinks like, fuck it, like you're gonna get negative sides of everything, and I think what holds a lot of people back is like feeling like it's gonna be cringe. That is my biggest like pet hate. I think like, no, people saying cringe is cringe. Like, let's just fuck that off. Be yourself and have a laugh, and just what if you just sat there judging everybody and saying, oh, that's cringe, because you do get it, don't you? Like, I'll have people who like they'll start out on social media and they've got hardly any followers, and people will be slagging them off, and it's like they're trying, like let them fucking live their life. Like if it don't work out, they've tried. What are you doing? Start slagging them off. I just think
bullying though, it is bully tactic.
But I've never been that type of person who like gets cringed out. I just think, oh, if you find my videos cringe, like I think it's more cringe to start at home talking about people being cringe. So
absolutely.
So yeah, I've always just done it and just not really thought about what people think. So I
And
just think
have you
can't-
always been like that? Or was there times when you put yourself out
I've
there?
always been like that. And I think like, just touching on you saying like I've had like negative, I've always been quite lucky that like the followers that I've built up are such a good community of people. Like they're like my kind of people. So like they'll jump on someone if they comment on my stuff and say something, and I love that because I'm like, yeah, they're my girls, they've got me back kind of thing. But I don't really get that much hate, to be honest. I'm quite lucky that I might get odd one. It's normally on TikTok, I think, nowadays.
TikTok
it's
is
just
savage.
terrible, isn't it? But and it'll be like, oh, you're a man, why have you got a wig on or something? And I'm just like, oh God, get a life. I think the only time I've ever been like not scared, but like a bit took back by like hate online, it were a comment that I got on my Instagram that said something like, can I swear and you just believe
fucking
this cunt needs his throat slitting. And I thought, that's a bit aggressive. And then I like looked on his page and he were actually from Sheffield. And then I delved a bit further into it 'cause he were in an industry that somebody in my family's in. So I like asked them about it and they said, oh yeah, I know him. And he had like a private conversation about it. So it were actually somebody who actually like knew somebody who I know, and it were like somebody who could actually slit my throat if they wanted to. Yeah, and it were a bit close to home, and I thought, yeah, that's a bit like shocking that people are that passionate about it.
That is very passionate.
Somebody just having a bit of fun online.
Yeah.
It's like, but it says more about them than it does me.
It does.
I just think if you actually did come and try and slit my throat, we'd have a fart on your hands.
You would thought.
Because I'm not going down without a fart, darling.
What advice would you give to someone who does care what other people think and they do get intimidated by comments online and they don't want to put themselves out there?
It's hard, innit? Because I think when you've always been that type of person that hasn't given a shit, and I find it hard to put myself in the shoes of people who ain't got that. Because I think, like, what have you got to lose kind of thing? And I suppose that's a question to ask yourself if you sat at home and you're thinking, oh, I ain't got it in me to put myself out there. What have you got to lose? Yeah. A few saddos laughing about it, like... And I think a big thing for that for me is that a lot of my followers, and I've had so many messages over the years of people saying that I've helped them through hard times, helped them through COVID, helped them through divorces, deaths, because laughing is like a medicine. And I think that is what makes me think, fuck them who have got alt negative to say, because like the amount of people that love me and have said that I've helped them at times in their life, I think that way outweighs negative and people that'll be sat at home thinking I'm cringe or laughing at me for wrong reasons. I just think all them people, it's worth it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. What's something about running a beauty business, hairdressing business, whatever it is, that nobody told you but you wish you had known?
I wish that people had have said...
Do you or your team want to train in a new and popular beauty treatment for as little as £99? Whether it's lashes, brows or facials, adding a new service can mean more clients and more money. With Beginner Beauty Courses UK, you can train for as little as £99 or from the comfort of your own home. Get instant access to their online accredited courses and train in treatments like lash lift and tint, classic lash extensions, beginner facials, massage, Russian lash extensions, and more. You'll get full support from your tutor, private WhatsApp chats, and lifetime access to easy to follow tutorials that you can rewatch over and over again. Click on the link in the show notes and train in a brand new in-demand beauty treatment today.
When it were like, I were in trenches and I were paying for like this big loan that I got out at Salon, and I was still working from my back bedroom at home, and it would just seem like it were never gonna, the alt shit were never gonna end. I wish somebody just said like, in 8 years' time, you're gonna be looking back thinking like, it were all development and personal growth, and them clients that ungo your bath are still with you 8 years later, and they're still loyal to you, and it shows that they'd be with me through thick and thin no matter what. So
that reassurance, like,
that reassurance,
it feels
like,
shit now, but it's going to be okay.
It's going to be worth it, yeah.
What do you think keeps clients coming back and keeps them loyal?
I think it's your personality, and obviously I'd like to think I'm good at what I do and do a good service, but I do think 90% of it is the fact that they like you and they feel comfortable enough to sit with you for, because it's sometimes like 4 hours is a long time.
Yeah.
If you didn't like somebody and you have to sit with him for 4 hours, like for instance, I had a tattooist that I went to and I didn't ever go back because I just didn't vibe with her, and it were like sat for 4 hours with somebody who you did not really flow in a conversation with and stuff. It was just awkward.
Yeah.
So like I found, so like I won't go back to her. So that's what I think people are like with hairdressers. Like, if you don't want to be sat with somebody for hours if you're not really vibing. So I'd say that's what keeps people coming back.
Do you think it's important for people, whether they're hairdressers, aesthetic practitioners, lash techs, to invest in their like education, like courses and refresher trainings? Is that something you've always done?
Yeah,
or?
so I've always been, you've always taught it anyway when you work in big salons that you're never fully trained and you keep on with your training and stuff like that. And even if like you're in a position where you can't actually afford to go on £1,000 course to go and learn a new balayage technique, or you don't have to do any of that. Like, you can find so much stuff out online. I taught myself how to do LA weaves from YouTube.
Did you really?
And did my first client just because she was one of my friends and she wanted a weave. I taught myself, did it same day, and it lasted 3 months. It was perfect. Do you know what I mean? So you can. I'm not suggesting doing that and not getting proper qualifications, but I did do that after.
Girls got to do what girls got to do.
But
do you know
at
what I
that
mean?
time in my career, the salon that I was working for wouldn't pay for any training. I were on shit money, but I wanted to progress. I wanted to do hair extensions, so I taught myself. And then I did course later on, and obviously 'cause you need all that for insurance and stuff like that. But my point is, like, you can just educate yourself online now. It's so good that there's so much out there, and there is people you can pay to go on their like subscription pages and they'll teach you stuff and stuff like that, which might be good for like a month. If you're on a budget, you could just sign up to a different one for a month and learn something new. But like I said, a lot of it's free online and stuff like that. And if you get to that point where you get a little pot together and you're like, oh, this is my training part, then you definitely go on different courses. And you never can have too many strings to your bow, can you?
Yeah. No, I agree. I want some personal stuff before we start to wrap up. So, what is your favourite treatment to have, like personally, like beauty?
I am a massive beauty addict. I'm obsessed with everything. I just love it. God, I don't know what I'd pick. I love a full body massage.
Oh, I love that. Thai.
Oh,
gotta be Thai. It's gotta be.
I've just been in Thailand. I literally had one a day.
Yeah, you've got to. Like just, fucking £5 as well.
God,
like, give me 10.
So I'd say a full body massage. And I think it's so important. I just don't get people that don't have massages. I think I can feel the knots and the tension and everything getting worked out of me. So people who've never had one, my dad's just turned 50 and he's never had a massage. I was like, we're in Thailand, I was like, you've got to, and he didn't all the time with it, and it's just weird.
It's weird, yeah.
But yeah, probably full body massage. I love a like medical grade facial. I love like a dermaplane and a microneedle and lot. Mesotherapy, I love all that kind of stuff. I love Botox. I think that makes you feel so much better if you're feeling a bit down in dumps and you feel a bit old.
Get some toxins
just get a bit
in there.
Toxin,
do you know what I mean?
Lift everything.
What's the worst that could happen?
Fabulous. I'm not into fillers. I think.
I was going to say, what have you had then?
I've had everything you can ever have.
Really?
Yeah, I'm one of them. I'll try out. And obviously with social media stuff, you get a lot of it for free and stuff to try places out and stuff like that. So, I mean, for the last probably 5 years, I've just been working with one aesthetics place because I love them and I've got a proper good bond with them. And I'll only go to them now because it's just who I'm comfortable with. But
you've had your lips done, haven't you?
So not for like years and years.
Really?
I had
got lovely lips.
I had filler in them, and then that migrated and I had it all removed. And then because it takes your natural filler away, I had like a mill back in.
Just a tiny bit, yeah.
So they're probably like, and that was probably 2 years ago. So
really?
they're probably like a bit plumper than what they would have been. But my lips, I didn't want to go down that route of like getting a bit filler blind and, you know, like.
Yeah, it's easy done into.
So yeah, and then I love all like Morpheus 8. I've had all that stuff.
Do they do that in Sheffield somewhere? Though?
Yeah.
Hit me up with them, these people as well.
Yeah. Next door to my salon, there's a really nice skin clinic that do all like, and they've got all best machines and stuff. So love Morpheus and all that kind of beauty stuff, and then just down to even just normal stuff like having your hair cut. Like I've been and had mine done this morning. I just love that, just sitting and chilling and letting somebody
personal care. You like it.
I love all that.
You've had your teeth done. We talked about that, didn't we?
It
was all about composite bonds, and you was like, no. Tell me why.
I'm a bit passionate about it.
Come on then, why?
So I was like,
I'm sorry, with a full mouth of composite bonds, by the way, for everybody.
So I was probably like quite early on in my Instagram life as Dianne, and a big dental place come to me and were like, oh, do you want to come and look into getting composite bonding? At this point, I were never insecure about my teeth. I had lovely straight white teeth, probably could have been a bit whiter, but like, whatever. So I went to see him and he said, we can do it right now if you want, and put me on the spot. And I drove an hour to get there, and I was a bit like, I hate driving, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I don't want to have to come back. And I'd wanted it at that point. He told me what it was going to look like, and I were invested. But he told me, they last you 5 years. When in 5 years, when you come back, we'll just ping them off. Your natural tooth's exactly the same as it is before, and you can have your next set put on. So I thought that was going to be my life. Adam Dunn felt like an horse at first. I don't know if you felt like that. I looked at me, I was like, fuck, what have I done? Got used to them, loved them, and probably loved them for about 2 years. And then I started noticing that they were like staining. Yeah. Then I started with chipping, and once they chip, have you had a chip yet?
A few, yeah. But these have been in 5 years.
So once you get a chip, they chip again and they chip off again. And I had times where like I just got back from New York and my tooth chipped. And I thought, fucking hell, if that had happened in New York, I'd have walked around like an hillbilly.
I've never had a bad one though.
Have you not?
No.
So I had a few chips that were like, oh God. I had one right in front of here and you could see me tooth underneath and it was just like hillbilly vibes. So I ended up, my partner had his teeth done in Dental Centre Turkey. He went to Antalya Clinic. So I ended up going to the Fethiye Clinic to Dental Centre.
And you still had your bonds in
Still had my bonds in, and he fixed the chips in the bonds and stuff, and he said like, if this doesn't last, if it keeps chipping, I would advise like having them all off and have another set of composite. So I come back, got a quote. The original dentist that I had him done with was really well renowned, like one at best apparently in UK. And I didn't like how do I word this? I didn't like him, to be honest. I didn't vibe very well with him. I felt like he'd like pass you a mirror and a camera would be on you. He'd be like, what do you think? And I was like, I need a minute and then I'll do a reaction or how I feel about it. Like, I don't want a camera in my face. And it was just all very, and I get it, he was doing it for free. So he wanted it all over social media. I was young, I was like 25 or something, having like composite bonding, and I just didn't need it. And I just wish I'd never started, because then I were on that route of, I needed some, when they come off, you can't, like, I don't know, probably have loads of dentists like arguing, saying you can have them off. But I had the composite bonding off basically, and my teeth underneath were like, you couldn't just go back to your natural teeth. No,
because you've been so used to it.
Exactly.
As well.
And another thing I weren't warned about is that you can get like cavities from the inside of your bonding.
Wow.
So like on one of these teeth, on the inside where the bonding were, I'd got like
bacteria, but you couldn't see it because it was
so
going
you couldn't
inwards,
see it, and there were no way of knowing until the composite bonding come off. And I needed, so that's the only one that I had to have like filed. The rest I had like minimal prep, so they just like buzz round it with thingy just to like make it a bit rough, so that when they put the veneers on, that they stay on, obviously. So yeah, I ended up going down to Turkey route and going to Dental Centre, because my partner had his full crowns done there and they'd been in like 3 years. I thought, I trust them. So I went to, my mum had hers done, at this point. So mum had a full smile makeover. She had implants, full crowns, lot, and they looked amazing and she were happy. So I thought, Rob and my mum's been, I'm going to go to Dental Centre. So then I went and had minimal prep, top 10, just like minimal prep veneers, and they're the best thing I've ever done, to be honest. I think they just, and like, because the composites only last for 5 years, I haven't got time every 5 years to be having them done. Do you know what I mean? I don't like to do with like dentists and like sitting, like, who does want to be sat and poked around with and that. So if you can have it done every 15 years or every 20, if you look after them, I'd rather do that. And I'm seeing it as, in another 20 years, I'll probably want crowns and have a lot done. And then I'll be like,
so what is it called that you've had then?
So I've had minimal prep veneers.
Minimal prep veneers, okay.
Yeah, so everyone gets confused. Like, they see Katie Price's video where she went to Dental Centre, because it's the same clinic that I went to. But people don't think, like, she's been and probably had like 7 sets of crowns done and had her teeth prepped 7 times. So they are like little tiny shark teeth. Yeah. But if you go and Dental Centre are so responsible. They don't want you to go and have like crazy, bang straight, bright white, like full crowns. If they think that you're an eligible patient to have just the minimal prep veneers, that's what they prefer to do. But on social media and everything, it's pushed that they're like demons in Turkey.
Really?
Well, it's just got a bad rep on it that they like file all your teeth off and everyone has problems and you'll never get a dentist in England. Like, every dentist I've been to in England says, oh, your veneers are amazing, where did you get them done?
Really?
Like, and same with my partner with his crowns. I think it's scaremongering because they want you to think, oh, you can't go to a dentist ever again in England, and it's just a load of shit.
Did it hurt?
Mine didn't hurt, no, because like I said, mine were like minimal prep, so
numbed
I don't
up
think
and
I even
stuff.
had any numbing. I don't think I had to have numbing because they like chip the the old ones off of the composites and then literally just like a buzz round, and it weren't like a long. Whereas when you have full on crowns, my partner's got crowns and he had to have like all his mouth numbed, every tooth were filed down. But again, his teeth aren't tiny little shark teeth underneath his because it was his first time having it done.
Do you have to go back again as well? Because I've heard that you have to
That's
go...
if you're having implants.
Okay, so if you have implants, you have to... Oh, okay, so you have to come back.
Yeah, so they put the implant in, they do all your crowns, and then you like kind of either have a gap if it's at back, but if it's at front, they'll put like a fake tooth on it. And then you go back for 6 months, go back home for 6 months, and then you go back, and then they'll actually cut the gum back open, and it's just like to give the implant time to like set into your bone, and then they'll cut you back open and screw your tooth on. It's crazy. I've seen it all done because I went with my mum and like chaperoned her. And
did you? Looked after her. They look after you out there as well, don't they?
They do. It's
I just went with my
and
friend.
then you literally think, how nice dentists are they? You're like, it's cleaner than any dentist I've ever been to.
The aftercare.
Like, the aftercare. If I've got Graham's number now, if I messaged him and said I've got a problem, he'd be like, come and get it sorted.
Yeah.
Like, they're so good.
Yeah, no, they are. Let's talk makeup brands then. What's your favourite makeup brands?
Oh, I've got to do a plug for Doll Beauty.
Got to.
I absolutely
We've just been talking about Doll Beauty, haven't we, before?
And I absolutely adore Danielle and Sam, and I just think everything they stand for and how they are and how they've built the community, like
and
they're the nicest people.
As well,
like,
they're lovely.
And
the makeup's good.
The makeup is amazing. Like we've just been talking about it off camera, saying like, can't wait for the foundation to come out.
Yeah.
I feel like the future's so bright for that brand. Like I think it's going to be the next big like, and we all just need to get behind them and push it.
We do need to get behind them.
I also love. What do I love?
When you're doing Glam Diane.
When I'm doing my full Glam Diane, I've still got loads of bits from when I worked with Mac and when I've worked with Benefit. So I love like Benefit do these stick foundations and I use them for contouring. Love that. Love Doll Beauty's contour though. That's my favourite. Who else do I use? I've got like Morphe eyeshadows. Pretty much 90% Doll Beauty. I've got all their brushes, alt bronzers, alt blushes, alt lashes, everything like that's all Doll. And then I just use my foundation stuff from like MAC and Benefit and stuff like that. My favourite concealer is the Benefit Cakeless Summer. It's amazing. It's such nice concealer.
I've got a good question for you, so it's just come. Right. Death row meal as Keelan. We're going to do Dianne as well. Starter, main, dessert. You're going to die tomorrow. I mean, some people say Desert Island. I prefer death because it's more intense.
It's a bit more dramatic.
Yeah, so starter.
Starter would be Wagamama's, I couldn't choose, Wagamama's coconut cairn thing that they do.
Okay.
Even though it's a main meal, I'm a fatty, so I would have that as a starter. My main meal would be a Donna Summer. Which you've never heard of, and it's just my followers will be like, yeah, we know what it is because he didn't shut the fuck up about it for about 3 years. They had a branch in Sheffield and York and Leeds, and I found them when they were just in Leeds, but then they branched out and they've scaled it all back just to Leeds now. But I was like heartbroken when they shut down the Sheffield branch. It's basically like a vegan, fast foody, fried chicken, like loaded fries kind of place, but it's just like the best.
It's the
like
best.
Every meat eater I've ever took there's like, that is fucking amazing, better than fried chicken.
But I have to try it when I see
Honestly, it's unreal.
Dessert.
I'm like a treacle sponge and custard girl, but then I can't decide if I want ice cream, so I'd have ice cream, custard, and my treacle
100%,
sponge.
I do that. When I have cheesecake, it's like tipping cream or both.
Both, obviously. I have a bit of everything.
Okay, Diane's starter.
Diane's starter would be a pot noodle, chicken and mushroom pot noodle.
It's got to be chicken and mushroom.
Main would be a chipper.
Chip
butter dipped in a pot of gravy.
Okay.
And I'd have a pot of curry and all to double dip. And dessert, a mandarin cheesecake from Co-op. Or Iceland, if you're on a budget.
Okay, love that. If Dianne had her own salon, what would it be called and what would the decor be inside?
It'd be called Curl Up and Die. We'd be taking it back to the 90s. We'd be having a bit of fun and a bit of spunk in salon with Curl Up and Die. And I think it'd be Curl Up and DI.
Yeah.
And then I'd be on front at salon. And I think decor-wise, it'd be...
Got to be crushed velvet.
Leopard print.
Leopard print.
Leopard print chairs and that. We'd have to have a bit of crushed velvet somewhere, though. Bright pink, against your leopard print. I think it'd be that vibe. Very brash, very get out of my pub
What
vibes.
quote would be on the wall?
It'd have to be live, love, laugh. And then we'd have to have like, live every day like it's your last on other side.
I love that. So what's the plan for Dianne now? And are you doing bookings? You know how some people do that? What's it, Cameo?
Yeah, I'm on Cameo.
So
Book me on Cameo
oh
now. I'm
my
busy. I've got 5 stars on Cameo.
Are you fucking joking?
That's another thing. So I used to do like Cameo, but I used to do it for myself. So I had like a separate Instagram account. I used to do it all through. And that were like literally like a business in itself. Like I used to have like a day a week to do all videos.
I
and
bet
stuff
you
like
did,
that,
yeah.
Like it's high. And then I kind of... I used to just like forget to check messages for days on end, so I kind of decided to go
missing
over to
people's
Cameo.
birthdays and
That's
shit.
So I decided to go over to Cameo because you've then got like you get notifications like you've got 12 hours to do this video or like different ones. So I have so much fun on there though. Like I've just have so many like hilarious. I've got one to do actually. That's just going to be iconic. But yes, I do birthdays, weddings, funerals. Oh, you need cheering up for, darling. Get it booked.
So you can do cameos online. You'll do in-person events as well, like say weddings, funerals, anything that you want.
Funeral. Imagine Dianne turning up at funeral.
Do you know what though? That would be fucking iconic. That would be iconic. That would be amazing. And something my family do, that is. Have Dianne slut dropping on my coffin. Yeah. So, and how far are you willing to travel?
So usually with the like in-person stuff, I do different stuff. It just depends. So like a lot of it's local because obviously it's Yorkshire, it's Dianne, it's Northern.
Yeah,
it's like,
they might not get it in London.
So a lot of it is up north, and I do like we did a like a bingo. What is it? Is it like a? I'm gonna say bottomless bingo. We did like a bingo a few weeks ago, and that were amazing. Like, and it's all about the crowd. So we're in Rotherham, and the crowd were just absolutely amazing. Yeah, we had such a good laugh. So yeah, out like that, like a bingo. I do, like I said, hosting. I'm doing like a thing for VK this weekend on their stall at Gay Pride.
Would you like salon openings?
Yeah, I've done all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
So hit me up, darling.
How did they get in touch with you?
So you can either email me on dianeregardless@gmail.com or you can just message me on Instagram. I usually get back to everyone on Instagram, so...
I love that.
Yeah.
You've been amazing.
Thank you so
much. I knew
much.
Anyway, so that's absolutely buzzing you've come on. I know you're going to get loads of messages from this episode. I've loved having you. We've been going for ages now, and I'm sure you've got a life to live, babe. So I'm going to let you go reluctantly.
Thank you so much.
Alicia. Yeah.
Do you remember?
That was, what would you call me? Lisa, Ashley.
Oh no, calling you Alicia. I'm calling you Alicia, and then I was like, Alicia Dixon.
Yeah, then he got it. It was fine. I'm not a fan. I get called all sorts, so thank you.
Thanks so much, darling.
Pleasure.